All right, here we go.
Another
Hughley.
time, huh?
Welcome back.
Thank you, man.
Welcome
Drinking
back.
a little rum in L.A.
Yeah, we drinking
dark
rum. We getting twisted on a Thursday.
For sure, for sure.
You know, that's what it is. So I just finished your book. I just finished the audio version of your book. So I listened to you telling. And the thing where I love the most about the book is 'cause I read a lot of audiobooks.
Well, you listen to a lot.
I listen to a lot of audiobooks. You're right. I don't actually read.
Right.
I listen to a lot of audiobooks. You actually did this book in your own voice.
And I had done 2 other books that I didn't do in my own voice.
Yeah, which is not as cool.
But I did it because this is a book that means more to me than I think that people write books for a lot of reasons. I wrote this book because I felt like it was important to have a conversation that people wouldn't have. And I think the only way the society is comfortable is if they're doing something. Like, we can all get together, we're watching sports. We can all get together at a concert. We can all get together at a movie. We can watch some of the same TV shows together. So it seems like the American psyche is more receptive when it's getting something it likes or understands or that's affirming to them. And I think that's laughter. And so it was important to me to write that book from that vantage point. It's called How Not to Get Shot and Other Advice from White People.
Right. It's actually co-written by a white guy, though.
It is. It is. Well, you have to have a white guy. Like, I don't even care a driver's license, just an actual white guy around with me.
Oh, just in case.
Right. I needed somebody to speak that language for me. What does that mean? Like,
Brad, go ahead.
Right. Tell me what that means.
Okay. And this is actually your third book.
It is my third book.
Right. The first one is I Want You to Shut the Fuck Up.
Right.
How the Audacity of Dopes is Running America.
Right.
And then Black Man, White House.
Right.
Which was a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
I don't know if was the first one a bestseller also?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't.
But the second one was.
The second was. And this one's tracking. So I think they become different kinds of things to me. Like, I didn't know I would like, but I had to write. But I had such a negative experience with Fox News and Megyn Kelly when I'd gone on to talk about my other book, Black Man, White House. She had started the interview out with, it morphed into us talking about policing, and she'd had Mark Fuhrman on the show, who is the poster child for how not to be a policeman. He was a disgraced LAPD officer who lied and was brutal. He lied so much he got a black man off for killing 2 white people.
So you believe that OJ did it?
I do believe it, but I didn't then. But yeah, I do believe OJ did it. But
okay, so when they announced the verdict, you thought he was actually innocent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And for a lot of different reasons, because I wanted him to be innocent. I didn't understand the space and time. And I thought it was important. I wanted revenge, so I can't pretend like I didn't for all
I think that's why most black people that I speak to, they've told me that they knew that he did it, but they're happy that for once the law actually worked in their favor.
I didn't know that he did it because my psyche, my id would not let me. I'm a lot like America right now. I have to tell myself a lie so I can live a truth I believe in.
Okay.
I have to lie to myself. Like, a lot of Americans have to lie to themselves when they see a kid get gunned down by a police officer. A lot of Americans have to lie to themselves when they see Donald Trump being a racist and pretend like he's not. So to that degree, I'm a lot like a lot of Americans. When OJ, I had to lie to myself and not see what was present in front of me to morph my reality into what I wanted it to be.
Okay. And Mark Fuhrman was on the show with you on Fox.
He was, and I had no idea he was going to be on the show.
But he didn't actually overlap. I think he was on before you.
Right.
Right. So you guys didn't actually speak to each other.
But I didn't know he was going to be there.
Right.
Right.
And this was around the time that I guess, they did the documentary, the ESPN documentary?
Well, I don't know if that was quite, like, I'm not.
Because remember, that was the first time I actually saw Mark Fuhrman speak
right.
after the trial, was that ESPN thing.
I think that, I grew up in Los Angeles, so a lot of things Mark Fuhrman did and talked about in the book that he was supposed to be writing that came out during all that trial, I went through. Los Angeles police was very violent. They're still, to date, the most violent police department in the country. They have more shootings in the country than any other police department in the country. They recruited white guys from the South to handle their nigger problem.
Oh, they brought cops from the South?
Yes. It's not... Even the I forgot, not the Warner Commission, but we were under federal moratorium until 2011, 2012 because our police department was so corrupt and violent. We had policemen that was so corrupt that 2,000 people got let out of prison sentence because he was such a liar. And so, we were talking earlier. When I was 8 years old, growing up in Los Angeles, I grew up like any other kid. I knew my mother, my father. I knew my street. I knew that I liked ice cream. I knew that I liked to run and play. I didn't have any concept of what anything was. So one time I'm walking home from the free lunch program because we'd get free lunches, and it was burrito day. So black dude burrito, pizza, and hot dog day. Forget it.
Okay.
We going to get it.
Right.
Me and my friend are coming back. The sheriff pull us over. They screech up to a halt. They make us put our hands on the car. 8 years old. And they asking us questions about this cat that lived in our neighborhood. And we like 8. I had no idea the police were good or bad. I just didn't. And I said, the hood is hot. And I took my hands off. And this white sheriff leaned in me. He said, nigga, if you take your hands off this hood again, I'm going to blow your head off. And I remember it being a smell on his breath that I could not identify. Till many years later, I realized it was garlic that I smelled on his breath.
Garlic.
And I hate garlic to this day.
Okay, and the significance of that is?
That 3 weeks ago, I was watching a boy in Chicago get pulled over by the police. They put him in handcuffs. He peed on himself. Then they found out that he wasn't the guy they were looking for. And I went, I'm 54 years old. This kid is 10 years old in another place, thousands of miles away, and he's going through the same thing I did. And America thinks it's okay.
Okay. Were there any other instances with police outside of that?
Here's what I'll say about that. Like I said, I grew up in Los Angeles. I remember this kid, man. He just got a CYA, and we were hanging out.
CYA is
California Youth
Authority. Yeah.
And we were hanging out at the liquor store, doing what stuff do. And these sheriffs came up, and they was giving us. And he said, this kid, he just got, I ain't gonna say his name, but he said, if you didn't have that Sam Brown on, which all of us knew that Sam Brown was where they kept their guns and belts and PR-24s and all that type shit. He said, if you didn't have that on, that badge, I'd beat the shit out of you. And that white boy talked slick to him and said, you wouldn't. And they got into a fight. He took his belt off and they got into a fight. And he beat the shit out of him. And it was like Christmas for us.
So the cop actually took his badge off.
Took his badge and gun off and thought, because he was an older dude, this dude was 16 years old, he gave him the business. He whooped him so bad the other cops started shooting in the air to break it up because we were...
Oh, shit. Okay.
And then 2 weeks later, this dude is dead in the dumpster.
Oh, you think it was a revenge killing? Yeah.
This is the prism I watch policing from. You look at the LAPD that was under federal moratorium. You look under Sherman Block and his undersheriff are in jail or waiting to be turned into prison for corruption. What am I supposed to see?
Yeah, LA was an epicenter for a lot of fucked up shit.
But that's where I grew up. Rodney King wasn't an aberration. It was Saturday night.
Right, and the thing is that it was an oddity back then for someone to have any sort of video camera.
Sure.
See, these days, I think kids are watching going, oh, like Rodney King, like, why is that so odd? Because everyone has a video camera in their pocket. Back then, you kind of had to be in some sort of business to have a video camera.
Camcorder, yeah.
Yeah, a camcorder would probably cost you $1,000 back then.
Right.
So the fact that someone actually filmed, and I think they had like a night vision thing going on also, the fact that they actually filmed this happen was a big deal. Yeah. Because stuff wasn't being filmed.
But it really wasn't a big deal because America has always seen black people and people of color being brutalized in pictures. I don't care if it's lynchings. I don't care if it's Emmett Till. The technology, the apparatus we view it from may be different, but we've seen black Americans being brutalized in pictures. Mm-hmm. And so generally with the same result. There have been over 200 race riots in America, and they were started before they had phrases like black on black crime, or before they had cop cams. they were started before there were grand juries because somebody does something to people of color. Everybody knows it's wrong. They pretend like it's not, and people get frustrated and burn shit down.